What's up, y'all? It's me, Erica. God, y'all just don't know what I just had to go through. Honey, okay. What's up? Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know you stopped by. I'm on my way to the park so we can have a conversation, but I'm on my way to a different park because I had to just yell at this man, and I don't want to go back to that park because I yelled at this man because my sons were at the park with our dog playing basketball, playing ball, whatever the hell, and another dog got over there and was trying to hump on little Maxine. She's 14 pounds. This dog was a big, tall ass dog. Like Maxine could like stand up under this dog. And this and my son is like, Mom, the dog is this. There's a dog at the park and he's trying to mess with Maxine, and Maxine doesn't like, and she's trying to get the dog away, and they couldn't get the dog away from the dog. So I'm at the gas station. I run over there to the park, and I'm yelling at this dog, and the dog has a collar on. And I'm yelling at the dog, and I don't even know where I could park. I guess I could just park right here. I'm yelling at the dog to get away from my dog. I'm like, you guys, why didn't you guys got sticks every other time. Why y'all didn't take the stick and like hit at the dog? Well, the dog keeps following us. We was trying to walk home, and so I yelled at the man. I said, you don't see these kids right here struggling, trying to get this dog away from the other dog? Ma'am, I don't know. You know, it's so many people who mind their business, and so much shit happens in our world because so many people are minding their business. And so you see these kids struggling with this dog. I didn't know who the man's yelling. I'm yelling at the man like, why you didn't help these kids right here? You see these kids trying to get away from this dog. Why you didn't? Ma'am, I didn't know. I didn't know if those were both your dogs or not. I yelled and screamed at him. So I'm telling my son, I'm trying to get the dog away, and I'm telling my son to run with the other dog, with our dog. Go and put the dog in the car. I guess he's scared and nervous because he's like, he don't know what to do with the dog. I'm like, pick her up and put her in the car. I'm trying to get the other dog away, and the dog keeps coming. Like, my son starts walking away with the dog. I like scare the dog, and then the dog keeps running towards my dog. He's trying to fuck the dog. And I'm like, y'all, where are your sticks? Y'all carry sticks everywhere else. Where are your sticks? Y'all could have, he was like, we were trying to walk away with the dog, and he kept following us. I was like, child. So I screamed on a dog and a man today, and that's what was happening. Honey, I was screaming at that dog like, get away! I know that man in the park was like, this lady is crazy. But I didn't know if the dog, I couldn't tell whether the dog was being kind of, was trying to hump on Maxine. And so it wasn't being aggressive, but when a dog is unable to have sex with another dog, they will get aggressive. So I was like, get away from the dog. I'm like, take the dog. Child, it was a mess. So now I'm at another park because I yelled at that man. He was like, ma'am, I didn't know that wasn't your dog, because it looked like, because when I drove up, I was like, what do you mean you can't get away from the dog? So I drove up, and it looked like, he was like jumping on Maxine. Big as hell, big ass dog. Almost in the frame of like a husky. But it was all white. It had a collar on. I didn't even bother looking. Fuck that dog. I didn't even think to look at its collar or whatever. Like, come get your dog. It's clearly in heat, and it got out, and it's trying to fuck on another dog. But anyways, so what are we talking about today? Shit. I'm like, this shit is crazy. So much. And I'm like, y'all, and what's crazy is my son ran home to come tell me and left my other son at the park with the dogs, the other dog trying to hump on Maxine. I'm at the gas station, so I picked the phone. He was like, where are you? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, why aren't you home? I'm like, I told y'all I'm on the way to the park to meet y'all. I'm going to get gas. I'm coming to the park. Well, there's a dog, he explains to me. I said, so why y'all just didn't walk away from the dog? Well, every time we walk away, he keeps trying to follow us. Pick Maxine up and tell the dog to go. Like, yell at the dog to go, because if you yell at a dog, they will go. They will go, because they'll be like, God damn, this motherfucker is crazy and bigger than me. And I don't know. So, honey, we could have got attacked. But, shit, I was like, get Maxine out of here. And then I tell him, while I'm, like, getting the dog away, I'm telling him, go put Maxine in the car. And he's looking all, and, I'm sure he was nervous because I was yelling at this dog, like, yelling, like, get away from the dog. I was like, go away. Go, go. Like, I'm yelling. And that's when I yelled at the man. The man looking at me. I said, why the fuck you didn't help these kids? You see these kids struggling? Ma'am, I didn't know that her dog. I know he was probably like, that bitch is crazy. So anyway, let's talk. Child, that was a mess. That was a whole mess. I was hollering at that dog. Do you hear me? Yelling and screaming at that dog. So, okay, so go ahead and like, subscribe, comment. Let me know you stopped by. And let's get into what we're talking about today. So, I want to talk about Real Housewives of Orange County. And I want to talk about this Swizz Beatz situation. And I'm going to tell you what Swizz Beatz and Alicia Keys, and I didn't know, honey, let me tell you something. So the story goes like this, and we're going to put it like in a real life situation. So the story goes like this. Swizz Beatz, when he cheated on Mashonda the first time, he produced a baby. I never knew that. I never knew that. This woman was overseas in England, and this child looks about, I want to say 12, 13, 14, like a preteen, okay? So when he cheated on Mashonda the first time, he produced a baby. The girl, I've never heard of the girl. That's how you know that she's not really, like, you know, trying to get stuff out of Swizz Beatz. I've never knew that Swizz Beatz had a child by another woman outside of Alicia Keys and Mashonda. Never knew that. So she has the baby. She has a kid or whatever. She raises a child. Apparently, Alicia Keys is, the little girl doesn't have any social media or whatever. The mom is raised. Alicia Keys done turned the girl's social media back on. She done told the girl to call her mommy or Umi. And all of these things where, I don't know, go watch I think it's Impressive or Expressive. What is the video called, honey? Let me see what it's called so I could tell you what the damn channel is so you can go see the story. But the bottom line, Impressive. Alicia Keys gets exposed by Swizz Beatz. The title is this, if it ever comes up. Child. The title's not coming up. Child, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm trying to give you a backstory, but anyways, basically the bottom line is Alicia Keys, the kid is with Swizz, I guess, visiting, and Alicia, the mother, doesn't have the girl's social media on because it's distracting for her while she's in school, okay? And they turned the little girl's Snapchat on, and they created an account in iPhone, like in through the iPhone. It says Alicia Keys get exposed by Swizz Beatz baby mama Janai Sebastian. I never knew Swizz Beatz had another child outside of Mashonda, him and Mashonda's kid, and him and Alicia Keys' children. I did not know that. But apparently the woman believes that Alicia Keys is overstepping her boundaries. Why does she think that she's overstepping her boundaries? Because Alicia Keys took it upon herself to turn on this little girl's social media and stuff like that, and then is asking or told the little girl or allowing the little girl to call her Umi, which is mother, okay? And the woman doesn't like it. And she says that she's upset or annoyed because Alicia Keys has not called her. She has not communicated with her about the things that she's doing and allowing this little girl to call her Umi, and then also turning on this little girl's social media after her mother told her that she cannot have social media. And my thing is this. And the mother is like saying things like, you know, I've raised my daughter. I did this. I did this. I did this. I've done all these things. You are basically going against the rules that I have set forth for my child, right? I remember being in this situation where I was asking, every summer, I have the boys from the summertime work on workbooks and stuff for the next grade level so they can prepare themselves so they don't lose any knowledge or anything like that. One time the boys were with their father, and I told him to make sure they do a page or two a day. When I found out they weren't doing a page or two a day, his wife told me, when they're in my house, they go by my rules. Yes, exactly. This is my house. They go by my rules. I said, okay. I believe that when a child is in the primary custody of the custodial parent, where the custodial parent takes care of all of the primary needs of the child, when the child goes to its father or mother's home and the step parent wants to do something for the child that is outside of the rules and guidelines set forth by the custodial parent, it is only right to call the custodial parent and say, hey, we would like to do this. We would like to turn her Snapchat on while she's here with us. Is that okay? Because children, once they realize that the adults aren't communicating, it's an opportunity for them to learn when they're learning their manipulation skills, because they all, children, adults, everybody, you learn the skill in the formative years on how to manipulate situations so that it works for you in your favor. When a child is aware that the parents or the adults aren't communicating, they're more than likely to start manipulating situations. And because Alicia Keys did not call the mother and say, can we turn her social media back on, the mother, who primarily takes care of the child, says that she's being disrespectful. I agree. I know how it is for somebody to tell you this is my house and they're going to go by my rules, even if it goes against what the parent who takes care of the child primarily, even if it goes against their rules. It's very disrespectful, and it also undermines the guidelines and the rules set forth by the parent, which in turn may lead to a challenge when it's time to have structure for the child. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like, if I know that I can go to these other adults and get from them what my parent won't do for me, and they won't even consult with her, I'm scot-free. I can do whatever I want to, because I know they're not intelligent enough, and kids understand this, and I don't understand, because we all used to be kids. I don't understand when we grow into adults, we forget how when we were between the ages of 12 and 15, how we figured out to manipulate situations or to create situations to be in our favor. And when adults don't speak to each other, the only person who benefits from that is the child. And it's not a good benefit to have, because the child is now going to start manipulating and also challenging the custodial parent, because they know that they have somebody who's going to go against what my mom or my dad said. They know. So if I know I have somebody who's going to go against the rules that I don't like, that my mother or my father put forth for me, I'm going to go to that person, and I'm going to start being rebellious to the person who has the rules in place. So Alicia Keys overstepping her boundaries is wrong. Now, the girl calling her Umi, the mother I don't even think I could even, like, if the child wants to call her Umi, then that's what the child wants to do. The child feels comfortable enough. Mother doesn't like it, because a mother feels that you don't need to call her mom, because she's not your mother, and she doesn't do anything for you. So that's the lady's, her rationale. And they going back on Instagram, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. She says she's tried to contact Alicia Keys to talk to her about the situation, and she will not return her calls. Now, when I went to the video, I left this comment on the video. Let me find my comment. Because I left a comment on the video because I feel like Alicia Keys is wrong. I feel like she's wrong. if you have someone, if you are the custodial parent and you are taking care of that child 99% of the time, and you have rules set forth for them, and they try to get you to go against those rules, it is up to you as the adult to say, take a beat, call the parent and say, hey, listen, I know you have the social media cut off because, you know, it's a distraction during school, but they're out of school right now. It's winter break. Can she turn her social media back on? The mother should not have to find out, or the father should not have to find out that their child is on social media again by going on social media. That should have been a conversation between the non-custodial parents and the custodial parent. I'm not saying mom or dad or anything, because that goes for everybody. If Swizz Beatz was the custodial parent and he had rules set forth and everybody's like, well, that's her dad, that's her dad. No, no, no. If I have a rule in place, you need to discuss with me how you can either not have the rule while you're with your dad, because it looks like you're going against the parent. You look like you're undermining the parent. And when a child realizes, oh, okay, they don't even call my mom to ask her. They don't call my dad to ask him, can I do this? I could really manipulate this situation to my favor, especially if the adults have a low emotional intelligence and they don't communicate. It works in the child's favor. So I said this. I left a comment. I said, a non-custodial parent and step-parent should never undermine the rules and guidelines that the custodial parent has set forth. End of discussion. Period. You can't, there's no way. Now, y'all let me know if there are exceptions to this rule. To me, I feel like the only when there are rules and guidelines set forth by the parent, I'm trying to think of a rule or an exception to the rule that you can set forth without consulting the person who created the rule. I said, when you do that with a child, preteen, or teenager, they tend to attempt to manipulate the situation with the understanding that the step-parent will not consult with the custodial parent. Swizz should have consulted with her mother and said, while she's visiting, is it okay for her to turn on her social media? And I'm sure if the conversation between the adults would have occurred, that there would be no problem. But because you do things behind the back of the custodial parent, the one who takes care of everything for the child, it seems like you're being dishonest. And no one wants their child around someone who's dishonest. And I said the white woman jumped out with Alicia Keys overstepping her boundaries, feeling entitled to do what she wants with someone else's child. Especially, I know you're going to say, that's Swizz's child. He's not the custodial parent. So he doesn't, especially if he's not communicating with her, he doesn't know what rules are set forth. And being that he doesn't know, the child will say, and I'm saying manipulate, and it sounds negative, but when you see that you can create a situation in your favor, and these people are not going to even consult with my mom or my dad, I got my social media back on, I'm doing what I want to do, and now I'm going to let the adults fight when she figures out I'm on social media. I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm not going to repeat the situation again. I'll put, you could see the video on Impressives. What is it called? Child, I said Alicia Keys is out. She's out of line. She's completely out of line. I don't give a damn if Swizz Beatz is that child's father. You're not the custodial parent. And you don't know what rules. If you're not communicating with the mother, you don't know what rules. And when she said, whenever I try to talk to you, you start yelling and screaming over me. You know what? Let me tell you what men do. When the mother calls, they make it seem like the mother is giving them such a hard time. And the wife goes into protective mode because she don't want nobody yelling or getting sideways with her husband. You understand? And now she feels like she can do whatever she wants. And it's not okay. It's not okay. He should have told Alicia Keys, listen, I'm going to call her mom and make sure she can get her social media turned on, because it's all for a reason. It's all for a reason. So let's call her mother and find out if it's okay that we turn it on. And I'm sure she would have been like, yeah, turn it on for the summer, but let her know when she comes back when she comes back home off of winter break, she's going to have to turn it off again, because school needs to be focused on. And that's it. But you want to act like I find it very disrespectful. I just find it completely disrespectful. I think that Alicia Keys is out of order. Now, the thing with calling the girl calling Alicia Keys mom or Umi, that's up to the kid. That's up to the kid. Now, the mother saying, I take care of this kid. I am your mother. I am the mother. I am the parent. Now, that's some kind of territorial over the child. If the child is, in this preteens and she said it was okay, that's between them, right? I don't think anything. But when it comes to guidelines and rules that are set in place, that would be the same thing if the mother said she couldn't have earrings, her ears pierced, and Alicia Keys took her to go get her ears pierced because Swizz Beatz is her father, and he said it was okay. No, you don't do stuff like that. Because, again, the child is going to see, like, they don't talk to each other. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Because I know they are not going to consult with my mom. And I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do. Wouldn't you? Duh. So because your parents are ignorant as fuck and don't talk to each other, I could do whatever I want to do. Oh, I have a story for y'all. I got a story for y'all. But yeah, I was told that before. I was told that while they're in my house, they go by my rules. Even to that kind of level of thinking, when you think about it, it's like the rule is to have them do homework every day until school starts. How are you going to undermine that? Because you are lacking emotional intelligence and you want to feel like you have control over the situation. If you are not the custodial parent, you can't make or break any rules. The only rules that apply are in your house. And if one of the rules is the child cannot be on social media, there's a reason for that. And you need to find out the reason why and find out if it's okay for her to turn it back on while she's in your home. But because you didn't have that conversation, that's not going to happen. Okay, I'm done talking about it. Now let's talk about Real Housewives of Orange County. So, all right. They start off with Vicky. Vicky is sitting on the sit. Now, Vicky can't understand why she's a friend of the housewife and why she's only on for a segment and she has to leave. They started off where they left off with Vicky talking about how she doesn't like Bronwyn. I think she doesn't like Bronwyn because Bronwyn is a carefree spirit who is very fluid in her sexuality. And Vicky finds it, she doesn't understand it. It's disgusting. She used the word disgusting. I feel like she's jealous of Bronwyn. I really do. I feel like she's jealous of that free spirit and she looks fun. And she's like, you're kissing girls. You're showing your breasts. You're doing all this and doing all that. Andy said, all you're doing is leaving us space for us to show montages of you. Honey, they showed a montage of Vicky showing her breasts, putting her shirt down, showing her breasts on bars and shit, showing her underwear and shit like that. They show all of these clips of Vicky doing exactly what she was mad at Bronwyn for doing. All the shit except for kissing a woman. I just don't understand it. I don't like it. I don't like it. And I was like, oh, she's in full white woman mode. I don't like how you are walking through your life. It makes me uncomfortable, so you need to stop it. That's basically what Vicky was saying to Bronwyn. I was like, I couldn't believe it. Really, Vicky, Nene, Teresa, that all of y'all gotta go, y'all. And then Vicky was like, this is my show. I've been here since the beginning. They were in my living room coming up with the show behind the gates. And then we ended up, you know, calling, and Andy was like, I saw your interview tape. This is not your show. You interviewed for this, girl. They played the interview tape from damn 2005. Do you hear me? Vicky is a trip, y'all. Like, that shit was crazy as hell. She is a conservative hypocrite. It's okay for Tamra and Vicky to do all the shit, but here comes this younger woman, free, in shape, laughing, having a good time, showing herself. Well, we need to bring the show up. And Andy said, the show hasn't changed at all since the beginning. Nothing has changed about the show. Nothing has changed about the show. And then Andy and Tamra were talking, how has the show changed? And she was like, I don't know, this is insane. Because she, you know, she was like, okay, Vicky, before you leave, do you have anything else you want to say? They didn't let her stay for the whole segment. They let her stay for her segment, and then they got her ass off of the stage, sent her to the back. She was not happy about that. They sent her to the back, and she was mad. They're bringing the show down. I've lost business because it didn't align with people's moral standards. Bitch, what does Bronwyn have to do with your business? And if it's a problem, bitch, get off the show. If this show is affecting your business, get the fuck off the show. You don't get to tell Bronwyn, who interviewed for the show and got accepted, that she needs to change who she is just because you're losing business. Everybody was like flabbergasted. Even Emily was like, I've never seen a more self-righteous person than I've seen today. And I totally agreed with that. I was like, Vicky is out of control. Typical. She's like, I started this. They're like, you didn't start shit, bitch. You interviewed for this. You didn't start nothing. That shit was crazy. They get on Tamra and Bronwyn because they had some like girl crush thing going. They started talking about them. And Andy asked Bronwyn, you know, how did your kids feel about seeing you, you know, be so open with your sexuality and your fluidity? And she says, I never really outwardly spoke about it. Of course, my husband knew because they do threesomes for his birthday. And she said, of course, my husband knew. He was the only person that I told that I like women to. And Andy asked her, so how did your kids respond? She said, after the episode aired, I went and had a conversation with my children, and one of my children came out and said, I like the same sex too. So it has started a conversation in her home where the kids feel more comfortable talking to her because she's living in her truth now. I think I thought it was very, I don't know what word to use, but I thought that was cool that allowed doors to open for her children to feel more comfortable to talk to her. Because sometimes when children feel like their parent is ultra conservative or anti-gay or anything like that, they will really hide who they are for until they are out of your home. And that's unfortunate because you do want your children to be able to feel safe around you enough to be who they are. And I thought that was cool. And Andy was like, yeah, that's cool. That's cool that happened. Of course, she didn't say which child it was because she said, I want to respect my child and they can do that, where they could announce that when they're ready. But, you know, that's what happened. And I thought that was cool. Then they start talking to Kelly about Dr. Brian and her breaking up and how, he lives in New York, she lives in California, and how they were going to do that. And then everybody was looking like, really, like, how are you going to do that? If he lives in New York and you live in California, how are you going to do that? I think Kelly would be good on New York Housewives. I really do. But they don't think that her husband will allow her to leave the state with Jolie. And he might allow her to do that. He might allow her to have the experience of living in New York. But I don't know how, I mean, getting her into a school in New York, it's hard to get kids in school, especially if you're trying to get them into a private school. There's all kind of waiting lists from when the children are toddlers and shit. So I don't know how that's going to work. But she's with a new guy that Ramona introduced her to. And she really likes the guy. He's given her a ring already, and none of the women were happy for her. It was kind of weird because they just don't like Kelly. And somebody said that Kelly is Mexican and Native American. I don't think that's entirely true. I can see, well, she's from Arizona, so I don't know. She might, I don't know. She doesn't look, her mother looks super white to me. Maybe her father might have been Mexican and Native American. I don't know. But I do get she's a dark-haired villain. I do get that from them and how they treat Kelly. I do not like how they act towards Kelly. I just don't like how they act towards Kelly. So they get on Emily and Shane. And Emily is saying that she wishes that Shane had more compassion and more empathy for her. He's he lacks empathy when it comes to her. Like when he came out, he sat on her hip. She just had a hip replacement. And when he came out and sat down, he sat on her hip. I was like, oh my God. Even Andy was like, oh God, like what? Gina said that Emily plays a bigger role in the issues that go on between Emily and Shane, and that Shane isn't as bad as Emily makes it seem, and she plays a role in that. And she said she gets very angry, she has anger issues, and that Kelly even told her, you're a bitch to your husband. So it's two ways. Like, what we're seeing him be an asshole to her, but we're not seeing her be an asshole to him, and she is playing the victim, they said. Because I didn't like Shane either, you know, based on all of that. All right, whatever. Let's see. What happened? Okay. And then he said that weight has never been an issue for him. He said he's always thought she was beautiful. He always tells her that she's beautiful. But, you know, you see what you saw, and if they don't like me, you know, then they don't like me. And says she has anger issues, and that she yells and she screams, and that, you know, on the other video, it said that she saw her child taking on her characteristics, and it really broke her heart because she doesn't want her child to have anger issues like her. But a lot of times they're just mimicking what you do, and they think that that's the way that you respond in conflict. They believe that that's the correct way, and they take that into, you know, school and into their adulthood. If they don't see a healthy way to communicate, they're going to take that way that they saw you communicate and think that that's, oh, okay, well, this is how people communicate. Okay, let's go. That's how I'm going to communicate throughout my life. Then they got on Gina, child. Now, Gina admitted that her child regressed while her and her husband were having their issues. The child needed some type of physical therapy or occupational therapy. She needed some kind of speech therapy. She needed some kind of therapy because she was regressing in her development while her parents were together, and her father was being abusive, and her mother was going through these things with her dad. So when you think you're doing things for the kids, you have to remember the kids are affected by your relationship with whomever you're with, male, female, whatever, whoever you're with. If the relationship is toxic and unhealthy, the child is affected. So while you think you're staying for the kids, what you're doing is showing your kids that this unhealthy relationship is normal. And what they're going to do when they get out into the world is emulate and copy that behavior. They're going to think that a man being possessive, abusive, cheating on you, and they're going to think that, oh, my mom did that, and she kept a strong face through it all. You know, you think you're staying strong for the kids, and meanwhile, Gina's child is regressing in development. And she said since the man has been out of the house and she's been gone, she's been away from him, that the children are thriving now. And she realized that the children were really affected by that relationship. So keep that in mind. She said, us being apart, the kids are thriving. I'm telling you, and so many people in the comments yesterday were talking about how the kids grow up, they wish their parent would have left the unhealthy relationship. They really wish they would leave the unhealthy relationship and get out of that relationship, because it does affect the children, and it just does. He was arrested. So she told the story that they were in an Uber. He was really, really drunk. The Uber kicked him out, took her home. He said he couldn't get another Uber because she was in his Uber. So she got home. He ended up walking home. When he got there, he caused a scene. Dragged her and everything. She had to run out of the house, knocking on doors, trying to get help. They said 8 people called the cops. He got arrested and he can do 7 years. Now listen, the way that the courts work, they typically don't do anything in domestic violence situations. They don't give really harsh sentencing when it's violence against women. There's something wrong in this country. But she has a new boyfriend. I didn't even know she was divorced. So she has a new boyfriend. I'm sure he's very jealous about that. But isn't it weird that a man could cheat on you and also be jealous of you going and having and doing what he's doing? It's so weird. That shit is weird. Anyways, that was pretty much it of the episode. They ran around with the rolls and the singing bowl and said what they wanted to leave and what they wanted to, leave and what they wanted to bring and manifest and bring into their lives. And it was okay. All in all, it was a crazy, like Vicky is crazy. Tamra is crazy. Gina is crazy. The only ones I really like is Kelly. And I kind of like Shannon. But Shannon, the way that I don't know what's up with Shannon and Kelly. She's really mad about Kelly contacting Jim Bellino, and that's understandable. But other than that, let me see, what else can we talk about? Child, these people are crazy. Child, that dog, that shit was crazy. I need to watch The Mandalorian. Oh, and if you haven't started watching You on Netflix, I'm up to episode 6 already. I think it's 10 episodes. And it's okay. It's not as good as the first season, but it seems like, I don't want to tell you, but it's okay. It's okay. And somebody on Twitter asked what sign did we think the stalker was? And I was like, well, typically serial killers are mutable signs. So you have Gemini, Pisces, Sagittarius, and Virgo. If you look at the list of serial killers, they're typically those signs. The majority of them are those signs. And so out of those, I would think that the guy, the main character, is a Pisces, because water signs typically kill. When they kill somebody, it's from like a passion. It's a passion killings. What do they call them? Passion crimes. What do they call them? Crimes of passion. They're typically there. So my guess was a Pisces, because a Pisces is a mutable water sign. Child, I looked up the main character. His ass is a Scorpio, November 1st. And that's what I said. I said at first, what sign would I think he was? I said, because he does stalking, I figure him to be a Scorpio. Because Scorpio, everybody is a suspect. They always plotting. They always looking at the scene. So they got to be one step ahead of you. So they tend to stalk people. So because they need to be one step ahead of whatever situation. They need to create the situation to where they can be one step ahead of the person they're stalking. But his birthday is November 1st. He is a Scorpio under the sun. And that's just what it is. Go watch it, child. His ass is crazy as hell. His ass is crazy. And I'm not going to say nothing else. Well, you already know that the girl that he thought he killed first, she wasn't dead. That bitch dug herself up out of the damn. That bitch dug her out of her grave, bitch. She uncovered herself. It's a lot of people, like, faces that look familiar, like in social media and stuff, because it's set in LA now. So it's okay. And the boys are actually watching it with me, and they were like, this is actually really good. What else is happening? Nothing else, y'all. Antonio Brown, child, he said he's not messing with white women anymore. I guess since he's lost his job, he's gonna be broke again. So when they broke down, they want to attach to a black woman, and then when they get their money, they attach themselves to a white woman. We'll see. He said no more white women in 2020, because that's what you lost your job. And now, when you get a job, we're gonna see. We're gonna see how long that lasts. Let me see. Let me see what else. Anything else? Oh, Tiffany Haddish said that what Blueface did. Now, I don't know if y'all know Blueface, Tatiana, who sang that song. He's so corny. he is the corniest dude ever. But he went down to Skid Row and stood on top of a car and was throwing money at homeless people. Just so dehumanizing and disgusting. And Tiffany Haddish came out and said that there was nothing wrong with it. I don't know why it's taking so long. I must be like in a bad area. She said that there was nothing wrong with it. She said, let me see, I'm trying to find it. Ra-ta-ta-ta. It's the ghetto. Ra-ta-ta-ta. Where is it? I'm trying to find it. They said the owner of 23andMe is the sister of the owner of YouTube, who was married to a Google co-founder. Bitch, keep that shit in the family, honey. That's what we need to learn how to do. She said those people that saying it's dehumanizing and degrading obviously haven't lived in the hood. I'm from South Central LA. I've been around a lot of gangbangers, drug dealers, and things like that. And they do often give out money. They don't stand on top of cars and throw money at people, Tiffany. Does she think she's the only one that was raised in the hood? That anybody can be like, girl, you're wrong? Like, girl, I was like, why would she say some dumb shit like that? She's lying. I have never seen anyone stand on top of a car and just throw money out and people just scrambling around trying to pick up money off the ground. I ain't never seen that. She's lying. I was like, why the fuck would she lie like that? Shut the fuck up. Just like she lied in her fucking book. Y'all know I'm not really here for Tiffany Haddish. Okay? I'm not really here for her, as you can tell. Anyways, let me delete this. Dude, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to see that. Ra-ta-ta-ta. Okay, anyways, y'all. So I'm out of here. Let me go see if my dog is safe and she's not traumatized. I'm about to go over here to this Cambodian market and get me some little pickling cucumbers, which I love to eat, and some fucking ramen. And they have the best. Sorry, I love spicy noodles, y'all. I put so much sriracha and so much lime, and I love spicy noodles. And when they're really spicy, eat cucumbers with it, because the cucumbers will cool your mouth down. So I'm going right here and I'm gonna get them so that I can make them when I get home. I love spicy noodles. I really wanted some pho today, but I'm gonna just go right here and get some noodles. Some noodles. There's somebody on Twitter posted somebody making some noodles. It had all kind of chili peppers in it and all kind of shit in it, and shrimp and crab and everything. Shit is good. That shit looks so good. Okay, I'm about to go right here. Y'all take care of each other, protect your energy, child, and keep the dogs away from your other dogs. Oh, that damn food truck is right here, and he comes out every day. There he is. He's backing out. All right, y'all, I'm about to go. I'll talk to y'all later. Take care of each other. All right, peace.